when you set up division of decimals, 6.25 divided by 5, the first thing that you need to be able to do is which number goes outside of the house and which number goes in. Because that matters. Dylan, where do you put the 5? And that's going to put 6.25 in. What do you need to do before you even start this? It's important also.
Bring the decimal up.
Correct. I say raise the rock up into the roof. You want to bring it straight up. Don't forget to do that because place value and where you put your digits on the roof is important. It changes the value if it's off. Now you play it out like you normally do. 5 goes into 6 how many times? Bring down the 2. Sorry, 6 minus 5 is 1. 5 into 12. You could just call it out. You need to keep going until you have no remainder and nothing but zeros to bring down. It's called going to termination. Are we done? We are not done. A lot of kids, what they'll do is they'll take this and they'll put it up here and say, oh, it's 1.22. The remainder is not the decimal. You need to bring down numbers until it terminates. 5 into 25. Hannah. Are we done? No remainder and nothing but zeros to bring down. 1.25 is our answer. In or out? 3.96. In.
You don't really have to do the division for this one, though.
This one is straight up. You're right. You could do it in your head, but let's just do it anyway. 3 into 3. 3 into 9. 3 into 6. Take the shortcut because there's no remainder every single time. One more I want to do with you. Who's in, who's out? 2 whole numbers without decimals. Phil. 2 into 5. Ready? Ready? Yes or no? A lot of you did that on last week's cume. You cannot take the remainder and automatically put it there. I'm not done. What should I do? Soph?
Put the decimal and then put a 0 by 5.
You got it. Then do what with the 0? Bring it down. 2 into 10. Am I done? 2.5 is my answer. All right, so it seems like you're getting the gist of it. All right, what about multiplication of decimals? Which number should go on top? Ben. Right, the number that has the most amount of digits should go on top. And then line it up so this number is all the way to the right. So our ones line up, in this case, with our hundredths. 5 times 4. 6 times 4 plus 2. 4 times 1 plus 2. Who could tell us what you learned in elementary school about moving a decimal over? Cody.
The amount the decimal is like the number.
Right, the amount of leaps, jumps, whatever your teacher called it last year. 2 moves to the right, to the left. How many moves here?
0.
Right, it's a whole number. There's an invisible decimal here. A total of 2 leaps. You got it. 6.60, or you could leave it as 6.6 as your answer. Yeah.
Can you just bring the decimal down?
Can't do that. You do it with adding and subtracting. You don't do it with multiplication. Sometimes it will work that way, but don't do it that way. All right, you'll see it doesn't always work. It happened to work by coincidence, but you've got to do it this way, Hunt. All right, I know Alex did this. Some of you are starting to do it. You've done it. You've actually did it when you remember when you did comparing drink mixtures and race car drivers and typists and texters. You already did this. You just don't know you did it. It's called unit rate, which is finding the value for 1. So look, let's do this. Start this way. 4 packs of Diet Cola is costing me $10. Therefore, 2 packs cost me how much? So,
5.
you got it. All you did was you downscaled it, or scaled down, by dividing by 2. But now here's where we take it a step further. I taught you that this is the value of the ratio, right? And it still is. However, it is not the unit rate. Unit rate is breaking it down even further, where you get one of these quantities as 1. So here's my 5 to 2, and I'm going to break it down even further. To get from here to here, what am I dividing by? Alex, I'm going to you because you've done it.
2.
Correct. Whatever I do on the bottom, I got to do on the top. And look, we're right back to that warm-up again. 5 divided by 2, which is what as money, since we're dealing with cost?
$2.50.
Right. That's saying, look, if I go to the supermarket, and I get 4 packs of Diet Cola for $10, it means that I am paying for 1 pack $2.50. Once you get unit rate, I can figure out the cost of every single number along the way. I have the cost for 1, I have the cost for 2, but now watch. Ready? Ready? 250. 5, we had what's the cost for 3. Not on the original equivalency ratio table, but you can now do it. Andrew, which is $7.50. Look, all I'm doing is keep adding $2.50 along the way. That brings me to what was in that final ratio table for 4 packs. Luke. Even though it's not here, what about 5 packs? Dylan. What about 6 packs? You got it. You just keep adding $1 or $2.50. Okay, so what we're doing is finding something called unit rate, the cost for 1. And it's not a difficult concept, but it is such an important one, because if you can find the unit rate, even if the unit rate results in a fraction, you can do anything. You can figure out anything when you find the cost or value of 1. All right, read the 7-Eleven question quietly to yourself and underline the information that you're going to need to solve the problem. What information is important? Marcus. And remember, that's 50 cents for 1 when you see the word single. What else? I'm going to save this piece of information for later. And what am I going to do with this? There's 2 ways that you could figure out unit rate. I'm going to set it up as TRF first just to show you what you can do. But then you could take the shortcut, which you started to kind of already do when you did comparing drink mixtures and texters and race car drivers. As a TRF, we'll do donuts over dollars, donuts over cost. All right, what goes where? John, 5, where do I put it, top or bottom? Yep, 5 is donuts. Therefore, what goes on the bottom? Which is how much? And I'm going to leave it as 2.00 because you're going to see we're going to need those decimals when we do the division. Now, here's where kids get stuck. I need one other value to put in the second part of the ratio. Here's where kids always kind of get hung up. What's the number and where does it go? Hunter,
One goes on top of the
what do you want to do?
one goes on top of one. Goes on and
I agree, one goes on the top. But I don't agree with 50 cents going on the bottom. Because that would then automatically mean, if I put 50 cents here, which is 0.50, that would mean these two ratios are equal, and they're not. They're not. What goes on the bottom? Kind of a trick question. For right now, what goes on the bottom, before we figure anything out?
40 cents.
Make believe you haven't figured it out yet. What goes on the bottom? Nothing goes on the bottom. That's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, now Jack actually took it a step further and he figured it out. But we're trying to find the cost for one, so we don't know that yet. But to get there, what are you dividing by? Therefore, now this is where this is showing you now where you can jump right to the shortcut. You eventually have to get $2 divided by 5 at some point. So if you wanted to leave all of this out with the template ratio fine and go right to this, as long as I see it, I would give you full credit. Because that's what really unit rated is. It's one value into another to get the value of 1. However, be careful when you divide. Raise the rock. 5 goes into 2. 0 times. So now we're talking about money that's going to be less than $1. 5 into 20. Oh. 4 is correct. It terminates. However, I don't want to leave it as 0.4. When we talk about money, it's how much cents. How many cents is that? Okay, so now think about what we did. If I take advantage of the sale, I'm paying 40 cents per donut. How much am I paying if I don't take advantage of the sale? Kurt? Therefore, by taking advantage of the sale, how much am I saving per donut? Joe? 10 cents goes here. A deal is still a deal. If you got to pay for 1,000 donuts for a whole entire school, you take advantage of the deal because that 10 cents times 1,000, that's $100 you just saved.
We should get donuts.
Yeah.
All right, how much would it cost the customer to purchase 5 donuts if there was no sale? Z. $2.50. They do take advantage of the sale and they buy 5 donuts. What's the cost? Under the sale price. Ben? $2.
Just how much do you save in total?
I'm getting there.
Oh, say that it was.
Original minus discount equals sale price. 0.50. Okay. Try the next one on your own. Bring it up to me when you're done. A little tricky, but doable. I think you're going to get it.